Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So again, I hope everyone's enjoying their summer. And if you are bored of the lack of content, we do have a new, relatively small update as of tomorrow, 24 hours from now. Version 2.13.200, another style Juno. And so this will obviously be AS Yipha. And this AS Yipha is a little bit different from her normal style. So let's just scroll down a little bit here. Instead of having a normal Yipha style being obviously a wind, I'll say support mainly, that sets blunt zone, Yipha AS kind of works like Yipha AS, where if you, actually no, more like Chio AS, where if you VC in, it will deploy wind zone. However, if you have more than 4 fist or hammer users in the party, and that includes her being a hammer user, then it'll deploy blunt zone. So you either get wind zone or blunt zone, so 2 zones in one. And so you can have definitely a lot more versatility, a lot more interesting team comps with Yipha, similar to AS Chio, although I would argue that depending on how you want to play, you would use it in, preferably one or the other. Like, for example, AS Chio is mainly used in magic type zone teams, whereas even though she does set Earth Zone. Now that being said, Yipha AS, her main reason why she is very sought after is not for her zone setting, although that is very useful. She has something called Faith Stacks, and she starts the battle with 1 Faith charge. She can give that Faith, she'll use her Faith charge and give 1 unit in the front line of Blessing. And that Blessing essentially adds massive amounts of stats to the target, and it's based on Yipha's spirit. So I believe a spirit divided by 2, which is half her spirit, gives all stats boosted to that target except for HP and MP. And so if you get a max spirit on Yipha AS as 600, you can give essentially 300 power, 300 endurance. I mean, we are talking some serious business. That will obviously allow your boosted unit to do massive DPS, massive speed, blah, 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 blah. So that is why Yipha is considered one of the best current buff givers in the game. Now, keep in mind that it only has 1 Faith stack, so you can only use it once. And so you can argue that that is not that much. However, usually if you give it on your main DPS, and if you think about how you build a team, you usually have 1 DPS, 1 support, or possibly 2 offensive supports, and then you have a zone setter. And so she would obviously duel as a support / zone setter. You can give it to your main DPS and have your other 1 or 2 supports, aka RCF or Nikoko or whatever, blunt if you're using AS Myumpha, AS Tsubame. You have a lot of different combinations such that in wind or in blunt zone, you're going to do a ton of damage applying all that to your target. Imagine putting that stat bonus on someone like AS Kikyo, which is already doing massive amounts of damage. Anyways, moving on, she does retain her 4-star moves, of course, which is some mild dual debuffs. She has some ability to boost speed of all party members, type attack of all party members. Those are all her 4-star moves. And in terms of her 5-star moves, other than the fact that she can give that 1 charge, which is, I believe, replaced by her normal attack, she does have a preemptive physical and type resistance shield 35% to everybody, status immunity to all party members, main and reserve for 1 hit, as well as something new, which is the knockback immunity for 1 time. So if you've been annoyed with fights such as the True Spirits or other fights where they randomly hit people to the back, such as in Boss Rush or other things, you'll now have the ability to counter that on top of, like I said, all the aforementioned benefits of using Yipha AS. And apparently for the unit that has the blessings on it, you also get double the buff effects, including things like, 70 physical and type resistance, type attack 100% for 1 time, extra shield with HP equal to the max HP of the user. So again, this really preferentially gives your main DPS massive shielding to survive while it deals out the damage. And finally, why not? She has a preemptive move that also gives everyone crit damage plus 50%, which is very nice, and weapon damage plus 50%, and power and int 50% to all main and party reserve members. So one thing about Yipha AS that I'm not sure about, but I don't believe that's the case. She does not have an end of turn boost, but if you read that move, I mean, is it not good enough already? 50 power, 50 int, 50 weapon damage, 50 crit. And of course, for the party member that has the blessings on it, double the buff effects, why not? So, I mean, even though she herself doesn't have any direct attack moves with those two new 5-star AS moves, I mean, like I said, you're already winning super, super hard. Now, for those who are playing in the earlier stages with Yipha, back in the day, Yipha had that move, the normal style I'm talking, where it doesn't hit, but it gives crit 100% for one move to your units. And that was before, of course, that everyone gets crit to everything. Even with the loss of AF bar where she didn't hit, at the time, using Yipha AS was a great way to do a lot of damage, even with only 3 people participating in the AF. So something to keep in mind with that as well. So, of course, pretty standard stuff. We do have the free Yipha banner, and I'll cover, of course, all of these banners tomorrow in my Should You Summon video. I'm hoping this is a full-up rate banner, that is, you can get normal style and AS Yipha in the same banner, which will allow anyone without any form of Yipha to get her more easily. 2 times max Faithful Encounter, and, for those who are excited about fights like I am, new manifestation fights. So these are true manifests for some of the oldest units in the game. Laclair, which I'm pretty excited about. I had her carrying me through in the very early days of my global journey. And of course, Gariyu, which apparently by all accounts is a monster after getting his true manifest. So really, really looking forward to the challenge. Remember that you do have to have at least gotten the regular manifest to challenge this. However, you won't have to level it up again. Once you have it and beaten the final fight for the first round, you can go directly to challenge those fights again and again. Hopefully, I will be able to upload those when I get a chance. Keep in mind that since this is the same update number, this is 2.13.200, this will be an in-game update, and so I will not have an early access with my iOS. It will be coming out approximately 8 p.m. local time for me. And just a few updates, of course, in that older storylines have now been added to the replay story feature, which is downstairs in the Spacetime Rift store. Now, because Yipha now has an AS, this is very similar to Yipha AS, where her 4-star moves now get boosted where it can be used in any zone. And that was a little bit different, where before it was only used in blunt zone. Now it can be used in any zone, which gives her a little bit more versatility. I will say, to be honest, I don't use Yipha AS's 4-star kit for the most part. So still, more flexibility, and especially the dual debuff of 2020. If you don't have something that dual debuffs in blunt, such as, for example, the AS Tsubame, you still have a mild dual debuff, which can carry you through some of the easier content in the game. For those who spend stones, 2,000 and 4,000 Chronicles package, only once as usual, and this will carry you through till the 8th of September. So another 2 weeks worth. And they're fixing some small things that have been glitching the game. Alright, so a lot of information to consume, even though the update itself is relatively small. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the update. Are you excited for the true manifest? Do you even have Laclair? I mean, most of you should have Gariyu if you are not new to the game. And even if you are, make sure you try to grind out those encounter battles. Get Gariyu. He's a great free unit. He is still great even now. Remember, free units are... it's nice that they're not like really crappy units, which I've heard other gacha games are like. Gariyu is great, and he will be even greater after this update. And let me know if you're summoning on Yipha AS and what your plans are for this particular update. As for myself, I do have Yipha in the normal style, so I will be grinding out the 3DCs. I'll add her to the list of all the upgrades I need. I have not been very fortunate with most of my Opus Codex and 3D pulls, and so I'm actually far behind with the most recent units. But, you know, the game is the long game, it's a patient game, and as a free-to-play, that's the game we have to play. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.